Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome back to episode 3 of the Final Bell podcast, where we talk about all things sports related. Hope you're all doing well, keeping safe out there in the world at this current time. And today I want to talk about the Elimination Chamber 2025. March 1st, from the Rogers Centre in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And Netflix's second WWE P.L.E. since their transition from TNT Sport, formerly TNT, over to the broadcasting company on a multi-billion-dollar deal for a period of years. And what a pay-per-view this was. We had 2 returns. A Hall of Famer returned to the ring after almost 25 years. And who can forget the most shocking, cleverly orchestrated, most surprising thing that ever happened at the end of that pay-per-view during the Rock, Cena and Cody Rhodes segment to end the event, which we'll get into in a few moments. But first, the first match was the Women's Elimination Chamber match featuring Liv Morgan, Naomi, Bayley, Bianca Belair, Roxanne Perez and Alexa Bliss. So, before we get into all of this, let's take you right back to the beginning so we can get you all caught up. So, during the May 16th, 2022 episode of Monday Night Raw, Naomi and Sasha Banks were actually the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions at that time. But they legitimately walked out of the show's venue over a creative dispute after a meeting with Vince McMahon, who was the CEO at the time of WWE, causing a change to the show's main event that originally involved both women. Naomi then made her return back to WWE on January 27, 2024, marking her first appearance with the company in nearly 2 years as a surprise entrant in the Women's Royal Rumble, while the status of Sasha Banks remained unknown, as she didn't return that night or any time up until now and beyond. We then found out later she had joined AEW, All Elite Wrestling, under the name Mercedes Moné. So she's dropped the Sasha Banks gimmick name and is now performing under the name Mercedes Moné, which I think, don't quote me on it, is her real name in real life anyway. So, on December the 20th, 2024, on an episode of SmackDown, Bianca Belair was then allowed to choose Naomi as a new partner, otherwise they would have to forfeit the titles, as she was not able to defend them on her own. This was while Jade Cargill was written out in storyline form due to reported undisclosed injuries she was suffering at the time, which were deep lumbar paraspinal muscle contusions, a bruised kidney, a sprained MCL in her right knee, a tibial plateau bone bruise of her right knee, and facial lacerations. So, don't you find it strange that Naomi, when she couldn't win the numerous amount of chances she had to become Women's WWE Champion, which she should never have got in the first place, that suddenly Jade Cargill is out. And then Naomi steps in to save Bianca Belair losing the tag team championships because she's only one person holding both belts. And in comes Naomi. Bianca Belair says, "Oh, let me defend them with Naomi. I trust this woman. She's a good friend. She's always had my back, this, that and the other." And then Naomi comes in, gets a championship without even having to work for it to make herself relevant. And it goes from there. So my finger of suspicion is firmly pointing at Naomi being the one responsible for the attack. And this will all come out in a moment when we get back to talking about the Elimination Chamber and the events that followed leading up to the end of the event too. So, on February the 24th, 2025, on an episode of Raw, Bianca and Naomi lost the tag team championships to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez just 5 days before the Elimination Chamber P.L.E. This happened due to some footage that Adam Pearce showed Naomi and Bianca in the general manager's office of the ambulance loading up Jade and apparently Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez walking through the building. This led to Naomi and Bianca Belair believing that Raquel and Liv were behind the attack. So they said to Adam Pearce they were going to SmackDown to sort it out. Then they did turn up on SmackDown. Things went down when Bianca and Naomi attacked Liv and Raquel. Then the match was made for the tag team championships, and as I just stated there, on that episode of Raw, new champions were crowned, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. So then we get to the Elimination Chamber itself. So we have, as I said, Alexa Bliss and Naomi due to start the match off. Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez and... Did I say Bianca Belair? I'm not sure. One more we had in there. Anyway, they were locked in their respective pods. So before the match even got started, Jade Cargill's music hit and she made an epic return to WWE. Walking down to the ring, once she got into the chamber, Liv was seen to be saying, it wasn't me, with her hands in the air. And I was sure, I might be wrong, I'm sure I saw Jade Cargill say, I know it wasn't you. And she went up to Liv, raised her hand to punch, and went straight after Naomi, much to the shock of Bianca Belair, who could only watch in horror as Naomi was thrown into the turnbuckles, into the pods, and at one point, Jade Cargill performed what looked like a form of Sheamus's brogue kick into Naomi against the pod. And then security came in to restrain Jade while Naomi crawled away through the ring towards the Elimination Chamber door. Jade saw her opportunity, broke free from security, ran over to the Elimination Chamber door and shut it right on Naomi as she was calling out. This prompted WWE officials and everybody to say that Naomi was unable to compete anymore due to the injuries she suffered from Jade, and she was therefore eliminated from the match. This gave Liv Morgan some breathing space before the first opponent was released from their pod, and then the match could start. And eventually the match went through right to the very end, and the winner was Bianca Belair, the last woman standing and claiming her ticket to WrestleMania 41's main event. Now what WWE are doing here is they're now splitting the Royal Rumble and the Elimination Chamber to make the matches, the rest of the matches up for WrestleMania. So what wasn't done through WWE Royal Rumble now goes to Elimination Chamber. So you've got the two winners of the Royal Rumble that get to choose the champion that they want to face. But then you have two outstanding champions which are now decided by the winners of the Elimination Chamber matches. So they don't do it all in one pay-per-view anymore. It's split over Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber. So next up we had Tiffany Stratton and the returning Hall of Famer Trish Stratus teaming up to take on Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. The last time we saw Trish Stratus in a WWE ring was around about 2000, just 6 years before she announced her retirement. So that makes it around about 25 years ago. Yeah, and the match got underway. Wasn't the most exciting match. Bit underwhelming, I think. anything's a bit underwhelming if you've got Nia Jax involved. I mean, she just doesn't have a care for any person that she's in the ring with. Anything could happen and she just goes ahead and does it. Most wrestlers have a duty of care and the mentality to look after the people that they're in the ring with, and Nia Jax just doesn't have it. And anytime she's in a match, someone comes out worse off than when they went in. So yeah, anything with Nia Jax in, you can expect someone to get really, really injured in some way. But the match finished with Candice LeRae going for a moonsault, accidentally landing on Nia Jax, and then Tiffany Stratton performed the pin, and Tiffany and Trish celebrating in the ring their victory. So yeah, as I said, not the most exciting match I've ever seen. But back in the day, you had Trish Stratus and Lita and all the others, all those really good female wrestlers. That was when female wrestling was really good. Nowadays, some of the things I've seen on female wrestling is awful. I mean, Rhea Ripley did one the other day, and she's a talented, really good wrestler. And she done a god-awful, fall the other day. She was in a match, and she looked like she tripped over someone's foot, but there was no foot there. And she just fell over into the corner, and it was just badly done. It was badly done, and it looked really, really wrong. And I could see that was just a staged fall, and it was awful to see. But yeah, women's matches these days don't seem to have it. They seem to be lacking something, and I can't quite figure out what it is. Next up, we had Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, and in my opinion, this was the match of the night. Unsanctioned match from WWE. Anything goes. The responsibility lies with the participants in the ring, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, with a referee. It's a match not made by WWE, but it's a match that's gone ahead. WWE absolve themselves of any responsibility of anything that happens while the match is taking place. And it ended with Kevin Owens coming out the winner. Despite numerous things that Sami Zayn did, haluva kicks, steel chairs wrapped in barbed wire, tables suplexed into stacks of chairs, you name it, they did it. But Kevin Owens wasn't done. He went back to the ring and powerbombed Sami Zayn twice on the apron, went to package pile driver him on the concrete once he'd pulled the padding up, and there comes our second return of the night. And it's Randy Orton coming back to get revenge on Kevin Owens. So Kevin Owens rolls back into the ring, begs Orton to come in. Orton gets in, attacks Kevin Owens, performs an RKO, and then rubs his right knee, which means that he's now going for the punt. He steps back into the corner, takes the run, but security come in and stop him, allowing Kevin Owens to get away. So we now have to see where the situation goes with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, because as of the news, prior to the unsanctioned match with Kevin Owens and post-match with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn is now indefinitely out of action. So there's no timeline on his returns. We have to wait to see when he'll be coming back to competitive WWE action. Next up, we have the men's Elimination Chamber, and that was John Cena, CM Punk, Logan Paul, Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, and who was the other one? Oh God, did I get them all? Seth Rollins, CM Punk, John Cena, Logan Paul, Damian Priest. There's one more. Drew McIntyre. That was it. Drew McIntyre. It suddenly came back to me. So this is another match to determine who's going to go to WrestleMania 41 and take on Cody Rhodes. There was speculation that went out on a post a few weeks before the Elimination Chamber, and it was shortly removed after, was that the original plan was that Drew McIntyre was scheduled to win the whole thing. But WWE suddenly changed it on the night, and the winner was John Cena. After Seth Rollins was eliminated, Seth Rollins stomped CM Punk, and John Cena didn't hesitate. He pulled CM Punk back into the ring, performed the STFU, and Punk was declared passed out, and John Cena was the winner. So while he was celebrating, Cody Rhodes' music hit, and Cody made his way to the ring to congratulate John Cena. A few words were exchanged. John Cena was seen to be saying something along the lines of, "It's going to be you and me at WrestleMania. They know it, I know it. We're going to give them what they want," and this, that and the other. Then The Rock's music hit, but The Rock didn't come out. He was second to come out to this guy I'd never even heard of. I don't even know who he is, and I'm sure most of the people in the UK don't even know who he is either. And his name was Travis Scott. I'm sure he's more over in the US than he is in the UK here, but I don't know who the guy is. And I've not heard anybody else say to me they know who he is either over here in the UK. So yeah, more over in the US than he is here. Anyway, The Rock followed shortly after, and they both made their way down to the ring. To be honest, there was no reason why Travis Scott was even there, because he didn't even do anything. When he came down, he just leant against the ropes, arms hanging over the back of the ropes. Then all of a sudden you see him waving his arms around like some wild gorilla or something, and it just didn't make any sense for him to be there. It just did not make sense. Then The Rock came out, told Cody it was time that he gave him an answer. But if he did say yes, then he would have everything. The American Nightmare name would live forever. But if he said no, then the dream would die tonight again. So Cody then reacted to The Rock and said, "My soul no longer belongs to me." This led fans to think that he was going to accept The Rock's offer and become a corporate champion. Then he said, "I gave my soul to this ring and these people a long time ago," and everybody cheered. And then he finished off with this.
"Go fuck yourself!"
Well, there you see Cena running around the ring, really excited, throwing his hands in the air, trying to get the crowd vocally involved, trying to get them louder. Really excited himself that Cody Rhodes has told The Rock where to go. And then Cody turns to John Cena, and this happens. 21 years later, since 2004, 21 years of being a face in WWE, John Cena is officially a heel, and no one saw it coming, not even me, and I watched it live and I was shocked. They done this so well. When The Rock did the throat cut and the two, Cena's face just dropped. And when Cody got kicked, John Cena picked up what Michael Cole assumed to be brass knuckles, and he was corrected by Pat McAfee to it being a Rolex watch that Cody was wearing at the time that fell off when Cody Rhodes was kicked. John Cena then proceeded to hit him with the watch a few times. Then, once he'd done that, there was more of a beatdown. John Cena got the WWE Championship and hit Cody a couple of times with that as well, which resulted in Cody being busted open. Cody was then laid out on the floor with John Cena holding Cody's legs while he was face down, with the blood from his face dripping onto his ripped shirt that was underneath him. I'm not even getting in this video to the Travis Scott thing, because that guy is a complete dick. An untrained celebrity getting involved in WWE spots that has no clue what they're doing. That whole part of what he did should never have happened. I'll go over that in a separate video. But then it finished off with Cody being laid out and The Rock whipping him across the back with the weight belt that had Cody's soul. And June the 11th 2015, which was the date of Cody Rhodes' father Dusty Rhodes passing away, and that was the end of the event. So if this was the Vince McMahon era and he was still around, WWE would never have gone with a heel turn for John Cena. I don't think that would ever have happened. And I have to give Triple H credit for actually pulling the trigger and going with that night, because now, instead of having two baby faces go to WrestleMania for the title, we're now going to have their face versus heel match, and everybody's got the heel that they always wanted, John Cena, against the babyface Cody Rhodes. So this was pulled off expertly. It was just so well done, and I have to give kudos for WWE for actually having the balls to go with it. I know Vince McMahon is a ballsy businessman, but if he was still in charge, I don't think he'd ever have gone with it, because John Cena's merchandise sales are just too high while he's a face. He is in the top 1 and 3, I believe, of the highest merchandise sales of WWE superstars. Some of the other wrestlers are not that far behind, but John Cena is way up there. So now you can expect a significant drop in merchandise now he's turned heel, but I don't think WWE are particularly bothered by that. But yeah, there you go. So we have yet to see what transpires between Cody Rhodes and Cena from here on, leading up to WrestleMania. But who knows what's going to happen. But the greatest heel turn of 2025, I would put that down as. But does it go as good as The Rock turning heel? Does it go as good as Stone Cold Steve Austin back when he turned heel? Does it go as good as Hulk Hogan turning heel the very first time and joining the NWO? There's endless times, people have turned heel. Bret Hart has been a heel, Let me know what you think in the comments below. Well, that's where we're going to leave it. So I hope you enjoyed everything you've seen today. Let me know what you think down there. Don't forget to leave a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you're new and help support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on another video. Take care of yourself out there in the world, and bye for now.